Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Papua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Makanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in bar.
Bula, my name is Tisa. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate, and on FBC News tonight, knife attack caught on camera, review of tsunami warning systems, and Parliamentary Forum discusses climate change. Another daring assault has been caught on camera in Lautoka at the same place where a violent carjacking incident left a family of 4 traumatized last year. This time, apparently, a demand for a cigarette led to a fight and one person hospitalized with wounds from a K-knife. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
It's almost deja vu. The same shopfront of Harilal Investments in Kashmir, Lautoka, and another brazen crime caught on camera on Saturday evening a week and a half ago. In the latest incident, 2 men appear to get out of their vehicle before a group of men walk up to them, reportedly demanding money. The conversation erupts into a fight that leads to one person being hospitalized after being slashed with a cane-knife. Shop owner Sanjay Lal was inside the shop at the time of the incident.
Boys were drinking, I think, homemade beer in a cassava patch. And what happened when these fellas two brothers came to buy the cigarette from my shop, and these fellas started demanding their money. And an argument happened between both of them.
These occurrences have become all too common, which Lal says can be attributed to a number of factors.
Actually, what I think, there's a major concern is underground use, and like illegal drugs and homemade brewery is going famous in this area.
Police Chief of Intelligence and Investigations, ACP Mbiu Matavo, confirms that a man was injured and taken to hospital where he was treated for stab wounds, after which he was then charged. One person has been charged with assault, while another is on the run. The investigation is continuing. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Mineral Resources Department, which monitors earthquakes, may take over the issuance of tsunami warnings. Minister responsible Fayaz Koya appeared on FBC TV's For the Record program last night, confirming talks are now underway.
Authorities are reassessing procedures following the breakdown in communication and the failure to issue a possible tsunami warning on January 4th.
Not everything is 100% all the time. Sometimes these things need to happen for us to take a balance and a check as to where we are, where we stand, and we could have done it better. You can always do something better.
Mineral Resources Minister Fayaz Koya points out seismologists record and analyze earthquakes but aren't responsible for issuing warnings in case of a tsunami.
That information is then immediately relayed to the NDMO. The NDMO is the one that literally disseminates the information. And we're always constantly looking at trying to better our systems.
Going by the last tsunami warning that we had, I think it was not that prompt enough.
People went to see in coastal areas, they didn't evacuate.
In this complex in Damoda, most of the shops didn't know about the tsunami warning.
With talks now underway, Koya is keen to remove red tape around how tsunami warnings are triggered and who pushes the button.
We really will have to sit down and chew the nuts and bolts on this to find out who is a better person to it, whether the actual warning comes straight from our seismology unit or from MRT.
A 7.2 magnitude earthquake about 2 weeks ago saw a tsunami threat alert issued, but no warnings went out. Public reaction was swift to what was seen as a lack of action. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
And while on the show, Fayaz Koya also confirmed formalizing squatter settlements will be a priority for the government. This is part of the ministry's plan to provide land for families who have no place to call their own. Rachel Nath reports.
The Lands Ministry has identified squatter settlements around the country where people will be given lots with 99-year leases.
We'll be starting in conjunction this year, probably sometime in February. the first one we start off with, probably Navua. We've got about 60 odd leases to issue to people who were squatters.
Lands Minister Fayaz Koya says apart from Navua, the remaining settlements will be formalized as soon as the Prime Minister confirms.
What we do is we regularize it and give them, they get their proper leases. So, they actually have a lease with them, they can take it to the bank, get their loans and start new businesses or build their homes.
The government will provide leases to over 80 families in the Western Division and in Nosori. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
The threat of rising seas, erratic weather patterns and severe changes brought about by climate change are collectively one of the biggest concerns for Pacific Island countries. Speaking at the 25th Asia-Pacific Parliamentary Forum in Lautoka this morning, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama reminded 20 delegation heads of just how crucial climate change adaptation is. Ellen Stahls has more.
It's an issue close to Fiji's heart. Climate change adaptation and the effects on her people. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama told a room of high-level delegates that action is needed.
The urgency could not be greater, and whether it be severe weather events, food security, or eroding coastlines, we all face consequences and we all have a role to play in addressing the global climate crisis.
Bainimarama also highlighted the issue of development in the Pacific, as well as the importance of security and raising the status of women.
That is why this forum is so important. Here we can deepen the trust and security cooperation among our nations and find solutions that can save valuable time in preventing transnational crimes. Here we can share strategies that have been effective and explain pitfalls that should be avoided.
He stressed that given this forum's commitment to democratic principles, he is highly optimistic about what they will accomplish over the next few days. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
Suspended opposition member of parliament Ratuiso Tekoda's daughter claims her father has overpaid the government. Asenada Tekoda was the third defense witness. She gave a testimony at the Suva Magistrates Court this morning. Shireen Shivan reports.
Ratuiso Tekoda's trial has entered its sixth day. Today, Tekoda's daughter Asenada continued to verify documents she used to calculate the difference paid by her dad for her brother's education at St. Joseph's College in Brisbane, Australia. She came to the conclusion that Tekoda was only supposed to pay $19,303 and paid $23,739 through salary deductions and entitlements, which is $4,436, more than what she calculated. However, the notice from the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that Tekoda owed $117,276 to the government. Tekoda is charged by FICAC with failure to declare his liabilities, contrary to Section 24 of the Political Parties Registration, Conduct, Funding and Disclosures Decree. The trial continues tomorrow. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
In the news ahead, 64 breaches of rent-freeze order and equipment to help in disaster preparedness and response. Stay with us.
मेरा नाम कमल रोशनी है। हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है। हम गोल्ड टाउन ताबुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन ताबुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश ताबुआ में रहता है, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Fiji Commerce Commission has looked into 64 breaches of the rent-freeze order and issued 67 spot fines amounting to more than $200,000 last year. Chief Executive Joel Abraham says more than 200 formal complaints against landlords were received in 2016 and already complaints are trickling in for 2017. Kelly Vardhala with the story.
Complaints of illegal rent increase and the non-issuance of receipts and tenancy agreements are becoming habitual, according to Commerce Commission Chief Executive Joel Abraham.
Yes, we've received complaints in 2017. We've received about 25 to 26 complaints. Again, this formal and informal complaints is, see, with rents, what happens is when people come to us, sometimes they've been locked out by their landlords outside the house. And there were quite a few of eviction. We've received about 7 to 8 complaints from landlords against tenants.
FBC News took to the streets to see what some Fijians think of illegal increase in rent that seems to be the most common complaint received by the Commission.
Because everything is so expensive now. If they increase the rent, what will they do? I think they won't be able to pay for their rent. What's it?
Giving the tenants a hard time. Either you vacate the house or give the extra rent.
I think landlords should increase rent illegally. It's not allowed and it's definitely unfair to tenants.
The Fiji Commerce Commission will not hesitate to take legal action against landowners who do not follow the rent freeze order. Kelly Badala, FBC News.
With a few more hours before the first day of the school year kicks off, families are rounding up their back-to-school preparations. Sainiani Boila was out and about in the city of Suva today to get a glimpse of the last-minute preparations and files this report.
Getting a final glimpse of the book list, making sure that all listed items are bought and ready for tomorrow, the first day of the 2017 school year. For parents Sarah Wainingolo, school preparation this year was last-minute shopping due to financial difficulties.
Yes, my husband is currently working at the Water Authority of Fiji, so we had to wait for the back-to-school voucher to cater for all the school stuff for my 2 children, so that's why we did our shopping today.
For Silipa Tuivanga, preparing to send her 3 grandchildren to school was not easy.
The prices of stationeries this year is too high. I use a lot of money to prepare for my 3 grandchildren for school this year. I use about $800 to $900.
I'll be class 4 this year and I can't wait. Yes, I'm ready to go to school. I will be class 6, bring on 2017.
Meanwhile, the Education Ministry has urged parents to play a more vigilant and supporting role for their children as tomorrow students take to their classrooms for term 1 of the 2017 academic year. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The U.S. government has donated some equipment and power tools to the Office of the Commissioner Northern to help in disaster preparedness and response. Eleanor Rangaivu reports the donation to the Commissioner's office is the last of 4 donations made to each of the divisions.
The U.S. Embassy continues to support Fiji's efforts in recovering from the impacts of natural disasters. These equipment and tools from the U.S. Embassy is aimed at helping governments' preparedness and response.
A year ago, we realized that there needed to be a little bit quicker response to any kind of severe weather events. And it took a little bit of time, but that is where these tools came from.
The U.S. Navy Seabees of 30th Naval Construction Regiment delivered these humanitarian assistance tools and equipment worth about $127,000.
So Fiji has the people willing to do the work. They just need maybe some more tools, some more power tools, chainsaws and things like that can help them.
Receiving the donation, Divisional Secretary North Soko Tuiloma says the equipment will be a great help to the operations center during the event of a natural disaster.
Thank you for the donation. We hope that the items that you brought today will be assisting those that have been affected by the cyclone yesterday.
Yes, hopefully these will provide a much quicker response to any national disaster that happens in the future. Naka.
The Commissioner's office in the West, North and Central divisions also received similar donations. Eleanor Turangibu, FBC News.
The Lautoka Wanga wastewater project in Lautoka is 2 weeks away from completion. 80 households around the area will benefit from this, and Water Authority of Fiji Chief Executive Opetai Ravai says they are committed to providing clean water and sanitation to all Fijians. Ravai says they've worked closely with the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing Authority and the Lautoka City Council to address the sewage problem faced by the residents. The project, which began in October last year, is divided into 5 phases. The Fiji Roads Authority is looking at putting up a temporary bridge at Tamavoi Y outside Suva. The bridge was reduced to a one-lane traffic last year after a crack in one of the steel beams. FRA Chief Executive John Hutchinson says its condition has started to worsen.
We are looking to put temporary bridging in at the Tavua Levu Bridge and also the Tamavua EY Bridge because we've noticed that that's starting to deteriorate again, and I don't want to be in a situation where I have to close part or all of it.
Now to sports, it's a brand new week. Here's Jamie with all the latest.
Jackie, and good evening. After the break, Coach Gareth Baber putting a lot of emphasis on Fiji's defense. And Fiji FA to allow overseas players from September. This and more coming up.
Na yalangunga andi moala ranalika o tikongona taunu singatoka ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Ya dora chubuli kurna bili. Ibora ni batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere. Bula!
Bula FM number 2 na sere.
With less than 2 weeks to his first tournament as Fiji Sevens coach, Gareth Baber is leaving no stone unturned. He's analysed Fiji's games on the first leg of the series and is faced with the tough task of fixing it while having to prepare for a tough pool in Wellington. Vashnil Prasad reports.
The Fiji Sevens side conceded 193 points in Dubai and Cape Town tournaments last month. This is an area of concern for coach Gareth Baber, but he is working on improving it.
Contact areas. Also, we're well aware that we leaked some tries when we were in those two tournaments, and good opposition will sniff out when the momentum changes in a game, and our job is to make sure mentally that we're able to deal with that, but physically and technically we're able to put together a defensive set of structures that stop opposition from scoring.
Fiji is grouped in the pool of death with South Africa, Australia and Japan. A mistake in any game at the Wellington Sevens can force the Olympic champions out of the Cup playoffs.
You're going to have difficulties when you come to play against good teams like the teams we're playing in our pool in the next round. So we're keeping our feet on the ground, making sure we're sticking to our plan of what it looks like going into Wellington, and keeping the players healthy and pushing them as hard as we can to get as fit as they possibly can.
Wellington has been the worst stopover for Fiji 4 years ago when they played in the bowl playoffs. Baber needs to do every tactics right to avoid facing a nightmare in his first outing in New Zealand. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Fiji Barbers won the Sud-America Sevens title in Chile this morning, beating Argentina 19-12 in the gold final. The Aminoni and Asilasila captain side had to play catch-up rugby after trailing 12-7 at the end of the first half. In the semi-final earlier this morning, Fiji beat Canada 29-10 and in the quarter-final accounted for Brazil 54-0. Former Sevens maestro Waisile Serevi has high hopes for the Fiji Sevens team under the new leadership of coach Gareth Baber at this year's World Sevens Series. After receiving his Lifetime Achievement Award at the FRU Awards night on Saturday, he says all Fijians should throw their support behind the players and the new coach. Meli Tavanga has more.
We give you Waisile Serevi.
He may not live in Fiji, but his heart will always be here. The Fijian Sevens legend wishes every success for the national side this year.
Fiji has been doing well. I've been following it all the time that I'm not, even when I don't go to the Sevens tournament, I watch it at home. Even if it's in the morning or in the evening, I always take time to watch, and it's really exciting.
Under Serevi's leadership, Fiji claimed its first World Sevens title. The 42-year-old says Fiji did well under the guidance of Ben Ryan, and that presents a challenge to the new coach.
He did a great thing for Fiji. He set the standard for the next coach to fill, and the players are committed to represent Fiji, especially the Olympics that just went past.
Fiji Sevens skipper Osea Kolinisau has the same thought. He's eager to create history by defending the title for the third consecutive year.
We're looking forward to defend our title series and get a win in Wellington and Sydney.
Meanwhile, Serevi adds if he were given the chance by the FRU, he would take up the role of National Sevens coach. Meli Tabanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Football Association will allow a maximum of 3 overseas players to be part of district teams from September. Fiji FA President Rajesh Patel confirmed to FBC Sports that districts will be allowed to register these players in the September transfer window. He says the players will have to spend a year with their districts before they can switch. Meanwhile, the Vodafone Premier League is scheduled to kick off next week and end in September.
The league board will meet next week in Nandi, so that's where everything will be finalized when the league board meeting happens. And this is what we're looking for the Vodafone National League. And Vodafone National League, we plan to complete it by September, so that the National Club Championship happens in September also. And we have said to all the clubs and the district associations, their local league must continue, and the local league needs to be finished by August, and so the teams are nominated for September NCC.
The Vodafone Fiji Under-17 football side wants to get as much exposure as possible from its New Zealand tour in preparation for the Oceania playoffs. The side arrived in New Zealand yesterday and will play its first match later this week. Rohit Deo reports.
The final goodbyes before the journey towards the final stretch of the Oceania playoffs begin. National Team Director Tarnesh Reddy says the tour is timely, considering the hard work put in by these players over the past 12 months.
This is what all these young players needed, exposure. They will be playing 4 matches at this stage in New Zealand for the next 3 weeks and prepare the places we lack and where the coaches see that they need more work to be done.
Coach Chanel Lal says the 4 matches will give his side a fair idea of where they stand.
I guess the teams that we will be playing in there will be all good teams. We're playing teams which are under 20s in there. We will expect the results to go away, but then again it's all game. We will see how the boys they perform in the build-up games.
Lal says the main focus now is on the first match.
All focus on the first game. We won't want to focus on the other games now. Right away, the first games with Solomon. We will try and study the way they play, and according to that, we will lay our game plans.
Fiji is pooled with New Zealand, Solomon Islands and Samoa in the Oceania meet, which will be held in Tahiti next month. The top 2 teams in the competition qualify for the World Cup in India in October. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Fijian candidate Master Manoj Kumar is ranked 43rd after 4 rounds of competition at the Oceania Zonal Chess Championships underway in New Zealand. Kumar has a rating of 1,962, while the leader, New Zealand's Alpheus Ang, leads with 2,271. Fiji's Zenborg is in 75th position. The competition ends on Friday. Former professional wrestler Jimmy Snuka has died at the age of 73 following a battle with cancer. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The Consumer Council of Fiji is reminding consumers to be aware of counterfeit products. The council says many parents will be shopping for their children attending universities from later this month and next month. It says counterfeiting is prevalent in Fiji and parents should be careful when buying branded school bags and backpacks. The Consumer Watchdog says people who wish to purchase branded items must inspect the packaging carefully and look at the logo and markings of the product. Sunny, settled and humid conditions prevailed over most parts of the country today. Looking at the temperatures, most centres recorded temperatures in the lower 30s, with Lambasa being the hottest at 35. For tomorrow, sunny spells with light winds can be expected around Fiji. And looking on to Wednesday, it's clear sunny conditions with few showers, which can be expected in the northern areas of Fiji, while the rest remain dry. At sea, south to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. Recapping the main stories for tonight: a knife attack caught on camera in Kashmir, Lautoka, review of tsunami warning systems, and Parliamentary Forum discusses climate change. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Now to the results of last week's poll question, and we asked, Are you looking forward to the end of daylight savings? 75% said yes. And with the recent publishing of landing costs of all vehicles imported into the country this week, we are asking, are you seeing changes in the motor vehicle sales market? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That's FBC News for tonight from the team and I. Good night.
Hola, we from Lautoka. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is Kanto. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Mula Fiji, my name is Florence Ratu. I'm from Corner Number 1 in Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits every day and all day.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm from the soccer crazy town of Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.